We are doing a interactive session now. For those of you who've been coming here often, this is a um, new way of interacting in our sangha. Our sangha family is growing, and we also feel like hearing from you and hearing your journey about Ayurveda. And this can also be a good time to bring up any additional question that you want to bring in, but we may feel like saying, well, that's a topic from another sangha. But we can also get some ideas on sangha topics, right? Because this is not just a formal presentation. Sangha is always a satsanga, a communion of higher souls with higher knowledge. So I invite everyone to be a part of this. Maheshi, feel free to co-anchor this with me. Sure. And I've never done this before, but that's how I am. I always start things which I've never done. Like I had never known how a Gurukul would, an 18th, 19th century, 20th century Gurukul will play out in the 21st century in Berkeley, California. But it's all working out and we are learning in the process. But we definitely have our core values of sadhana, seva and sangha intact. So with those values and the Ashirvad and blessings of our ancestors and teachers and the great rishis, we are forging ahead and learning. So let us try to make this session the where it wants to go, and I'm sure it wants to gift us something. So I will just, every time somebody speaks up or you ask a question or I ask you to speak, why don't you do this? Why don't you not just speak about your question, but why don't you say, I'm so and so and this is how I'm feeling, or I'm so glad to be here, or here's a piece of my journey you need to know, so that we can have your darshan. How's that? Good? Okay. So I'm Shunya. My father gave my name Pratichi, but my Baba, my teacher, gave me the spiritual name Shunya at my age 9, Upanayam, and I did not know what it meant. And ordinary school kids said, great, your grandfather gave you the name Zero. That's all you are. You're zero, you're zero. Because that's the usage in arithmetic, and zero in the Hindu arithmetic means infinity. But Shunya in Vedantic terminology means Purna, completion, Brahman. And I didn't understand that for a long time, so I tried to disown that. And gradually I am learning. Vedika Gurukul, founding it, teaching it is really a process of learning what Shunya is all about. And so that's me. And Mahashji is Mahaisha. You want to talk about your name? He truly is a divine teacher here, and we both are here to co-anchor. So my journey with Ayurveda was that when I walked away from my teacher, I became really unwell, both physically and emotionally. I was not doing that well. And that was a very instrumental and important time for me to actually re-own this knowledge, because sometimes, at least in India, when you're born in a certain tradition, it is so structured and so much there that you don't have room to navigate. And I didn't feel a room to navigate. But I guess in a way, those years of where my ill health really went up, and I could not feel so much well-being as I have potential to, as we all have birthright to, I returned to the teachings of my teacher. I returned to the fold of Ayurveda, and I have been enjoying myself ever since. That's all I can say, and I think my husband and son also feel I'm a better person. You can check with them. An easier person to be with. So this is my piece. So I was going to open the floor, and just to make the new people here more comfortable, I might just ask my students to say a few things. Actually, I'm going to ask Savita. Savita, yes, come here.
I don't know what I'm going to
It's more and more limelight, but it's your chance to share with, or come sit with me. Come.
Oh, that's
yeah, okay.
Thank you. I need a lot of time to come here.
Okay,
so.
okay.
Namaste. My name is Savita, and I have been with Yoga Bharati, a non-profit organization, since 6 years now. And that's when I came to know about Shunya ji, and that time I didn't know what she was doing, and now when I really learned it, almost, I think I heard her talk in the in one of the YSC recordings. They have a lot of recordings on their website, and I was so moved. I mean, Shuneji is doing such a great job, and especially bringing that essence of Ayurveda into life, I would say. Because I have gone to so many Ayurveda places, and it's more like, commercial. I mean, of course, you have to be, that has to be there, but what is it that you're getting apart from paying your money? So that kind of thing. And now I also learned that Ayurveda and yoga, they kind of complement each other so much that I mean, you're doing some asana, something, but what are you eating? Maybe you're driving through your Taco Bells or your Burger Kings, but I'm doing yoga, I can headstand, but is that my health? So I learned that the regimen that they talk about in the education and all that really helps. Like the other day we had this a seminar by Maheshji like on Friday. Like the whole week I was running around and doing all these things, but that day, like I think I slept only for 3 or 4 hours, but we had that Ayurvedic recipes that thanks to Sanjay ji, he sent some recipes that we asked for. So we ate that food, and I didn't even feel that I was losing energy, because when you're running around for a whole week and then when you're not sleeping so much, but I felt so much energy in me, and then that's what is helping me. I think I would like to continue this, and more importantly is to spread this.
Yes,
that's the main thing, because I told so many people to come for the seminar, but when I told them what Maheshji talked about, oh wow, that would have been nice, month by month what they were talking, that would have been awesome. So that kind of thing. So it will be nice to for us to know first, and then to spread it.
Spread the word.
That's
and how is your child benefiting from?
Yeah, actually, my daughter, I mean, she was not able to drink milk at all, and the first sangha, I think that was like something comes together, and it was like I came here with thinking about my daughter's health and all that, and this I didn't even know that.
So you were worried in the car?
Yeah, I was like thinking about them, and then like finally I'm here. It's about milk. Yeah, how nice is that? Because that is what I'm struggling with my daughter, like how to give her milk, and I was thinking to stop milk and all that, but I started to give her milk in the way that was taught here in the class, and then she can drink milk now morning, evening, and she's able to handle that with no worries at all. So we are all like Vedika people now, more than Yoga Bharati, or I would say, I mean, I don't want to say that in front of Venkat.
No, we are all Ayurveda people now. We are all Ayurveda. But thank you for saying that, because when you say we are all Vedika people, and when we come to Yoga Bharati, we are all Yoga Bharati.
Yeah, exactly.
The world is ready for all these organizations to come together in service of the knowledge and really use each other's resources. I think we're struggling too hard in our little alone places and trying to, do something. And ultimately, at the end of the day, when we can help people, because Savita organized an amazing pregnancy workshop with a PowerPoint and everything, where month by month we gave recommendations, Maheshji. It will actually bring about so many happy babies, and the good karma of which will go to Maheshji, which will go to Savita ji, which will go to Yoga Bharati. Some of it I will take up, good karma. See, this is what's happening. Somebody somewhere will have a more smooth pregnancy. Some soul will have a happier entry. Some parents will be happier. This is Vidyadan. This is the ultimate giving of knowledge. So thank you for being a part of it. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah. So we don't always Savita happens to know us and Vedika Global. You may not know us, and you can just talk about why you are here, or your pain or your sorrow, because we want to hear you. Is that okay? Am I following my intuition correctly? Am I?
Yeah.
Again, that hearing problem. Okay. Have these sessions and we hear the teachers, but there might be some beautiful souls sitting here who could be your future friends and human resource and leaders, and so we need to know each other. Needs to be a human resource community, and which goes beyond Vedika, beyond earth, into this divine space, right? So welcome back.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. So my name is Narayani, also out in the world known as Lisa. And I found Vedika many years ago, 3-ish years
3
ago.
years ago.
And it was actually my brother Marcus that, or Atmajoti, who was like, Lisa, I found this place, come, and we're going to study together. And we often sort of had a pact with each other where we would dip into spiritual study together. So whether it was here or somewhere else, we tend to love to study deeply with each other, and that's part of our bond and friendship. But when I found Vedika, I guess probably to condense and give you more bang for your buck, when I found Vedika, I was really tormented with insane eczema that I have had basically from as long as I can remember. In childhood, it was like, whoa, all over my arms, and then, you know, I went through my own process of pregnancy and giving birth, and it changed. It kind of went from my arms to the backs of my legs, and, you know, I just had a really long history of, like, not wanting to wear shorts or anything to reveal my legs, because the backs of my legs were just really damaged, like, darkened, just really torn up from the eczema, and it was just something that I really suffered with. And, you know, what do you get in Western medicine but some cortisone cream to treat it with? Like, it's not really something that really checks it effectively. So when I fell upon this knowledge, I guess what I want to say is, like, I show my legs in public now. Like, I have, like, no scarring. And it's just really incredible. Like, the science and the philosophy, it really works. And I think what I love about it so much is that it makes so much common sense. Like, it really follows the natural flow of, you know, of the elements of the universe. Like, it just makes sense. It's like, right, like increases like, and opposites balance. Like, these are just basic principles that you can look out in nature and observe happening outside of yourself, and then you just take those principles and bring them closer to home. So I've just been able to heal so much in my life. And, you know, I'll admit I am not the most astute student. Like, I definitely have my places where I'm on and then I fall off a little bit. But what I love is that I know how to come back home now. Like, I have the tools to come back home to health in my body. And, you know, at this point, I have one little precious reminder of slightly sort of eczema. It's my tester strip on my body, and it happens to be on this finger, and it's what tells me basically how I'm doing. And so I actually bless it. I'm like, oh, thank you, finger, for just being my thermometer meter of, like, how my general health is. And when this is starting to get a little aggravated, it's like, go home, go back to what you know that is just so simple and will really bring your body back into balance. So I just have a lot of gratitude.
You know about the days you fall off?
I fall off, Shunya, I do. I can totally remember at some point in one of our classes, Shunya shot her eyes over, and what came out of her mouth was, no snacking, Narayani. And I wasn't asking, I'm like, what? How did, and that is it. Like, that is probably my biggest culprit. I love to snack. It's my inner rabbit. And that's it. And, you know, but what I've come to find out is, like, right, once again, the natural metaphors of Ayurveda, it's like, just think about a fire. Like, if you shovel too much wood on your fire and it doesn't have the opportunity to burn that wood up completely, you're going to smother your fire out. So snacking, and eating throughout the day, even if it's little bits here, like this little sugary treat here and little bit here, it's like you're stacking too much wood on your fire and you're not giving it the chance to burn through completely what's already there, and then you clog up your system. So it makes so much sense. It's beautiful that way, and it excites me. So I'm often shooting many friends email introductions to Maheshji, go talk to him, go to the clinic, because it's just, yeah, it's a science that is just really dear to me. It's really dear to me, and it's helped to transform just so many of my health issues. I can remember a few years ago where probably this time this year I looked like a little swollen-faced possum. Like, my eyes were just blown up and swollen and rashy, and it was my pitta and prakopa, and I didn't know what was going on. And it's like, no, just follow the wisdom, and that issue doesn't, I'm not dealing with it anymore, and I'm just deeply grateful, so very humbled by,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Narayani, I remember that your changes started taking place in the first year just with food, right?
Yeah.
Even before you saw the teachers, so to
Right,
say.
right.
Just the food and following the lifestyle, dinacharya and seasonal routine.
Yeah.
The body doesn't want to be unhealthy.
Right.
Body doesn't want to fight us or punish us. The moment we start listening to its laws and start living by it, it just, the body just rolls over and becomes the happy rabbit, right?
The happy rabbit.
Happy rabbit. So to the happy rabbit. Thank you,
Thank you,
Narayan.
Shreya.
So my name's Arati, and I'm very happy to be here and to have met you. I found out about this place through a fellow yoga student of mine. I'm taking a teacher training down at Mount Madonna, and she was telling me how she's taking this cooking class here, and we were talking about Ayurveda and combining all of these different holistic modalities and learning about it, and we were getting more and more excited about it. So she said, "This is in your backyard, you can go and find out more about it." And so I looked, and in 1 week there were like 3 events happening.
We've been busy this fall semester.
So I was very happy to come here and to just see what it was about, and I'm very heartened at what I see and seeing this tradition, this beautiful tradition coming from your ancestors and from a very long lineage, and it gives me heart to know that this teaching is coming from a very authentic place. So yeah, I look forward to coming back and really
So
learning.
what inspired you to study yoga in your life in the first place?
You know, I've had a number of physical problems. I've always liked yoga. I started learning actually from my dad, just a few asanas here and there, and loved it. And just, every time I would take a class or do a few asanas, I would just feel so much more grounded and peaceful. But I am super hypermobile, and I would just hurt myself in classes. And so I had a number of injuries over the years that have just sort of plagued me, and I'm just tired of dealing with it. And so I decided to take this teacher training class to really just learn more about asana. And
So you didn't give up on yoga, you said, I'll learn it the right way.
Right.
Wonderful.
right, so and it's sort of reinforcing a lot of themes that have been a part of my life. Being Indian, we sort of have this knowledge at a very superficial level. We don't
But it's
really
always
know-
there.
It's there. And so now it's kind of nice to come to a place where you can really know the whys and
Yeah.
why nots and in more detail. So I'm looking forward to healing my physical body and experiencing more subtler, I guess, spiritual experiences. So I guess I'm open to
Wonderful.
whatever happens. So
Thank you so much. When Sangha is open and the doors are open, then we just never know who's coming, what message they are bringing. What a powerful message. Someone could have said, right, Venkatji, that I'm having injury, so I'm just going to give up on yoga, or this doesn't work. But instead, this person said, let me do it the right way and learn it properly. So that's just, and I think part of that was maybe her father. Because we heard her slipping about her dad teaching, and really father and mother are our first teachers. So if we can be, through the aid of Sangha and knowledge, become those kind of father mothers, then when we have our children have become our little shishyas, then we are doing a good job, right? When your daughter already knows Ayurveda from little age, then we are doing well, right? Yeah.
So my name's Candace, and I've been coming to the Sanghas for a few years, and I took the 2-month course at the beginning of this year, and it's kind of like every time I come here I learn a little bit more and a little bit more, and with the progression of learning, I feel like I'm getting healthier and healthier and become more, not that I still am not struggling with illness, but it seems like I get well so much faster. And my body has gone from being contracted to being much more open, and that just feels really healthy and good. And I came from a yoga tradition before I came here, and as I got older, it became too difficult for me to teach. And I would just feel so blessed and fortunate to have met you and to have this community available to come and plug in spiritually. It's like a spiritual home, and to be with other people who are like-minded. So, and Dr. Mesh has really helped me very much. Thank you. I highly recommend him with his Ayurvedic medicine as well. So it's helped a lot. Thank you.
And you recently had an accident.
I did. I had an accident 2 weeks ago. And,
on your way to a class here. You got so worried.
Oh
or was
no, it
it
was
before?
the day before. The day
Okay,
before.
It was the day before.
For a class, and I had a car accident 16 months ago, and it took me a long time to recover, and I can't believe it. Just within this was a much worse accident, and already I feel like I'm healing, and it's pretty amazing.
You've been drinking the moon water?
Yes, that we talked about.
We
at
gave
the
her
last
the moon
Sangha.
water recipe, which is a medicine.
Right.
You're drinking that?
Yes, and I think the oiling,
Yeah.
oil, boy,
It's true.
that is just like a miracle. I don't know. I can't describe it. It's just the way it penetrates the body and increases flexibility and calms down pain. So if you haven't tried it, learn it. It's pretty incredible.
Yes.
Can I ask a quick question about the oiling? It came up and I forgot. Are you supposed to let it soak in before you shower?
10-15 minutes is good enough, or as you apply and then you go about getting your clothes, because this is more of a daily thing, and it's more of a rubbing, right? So it goes in any way, and so it's not falling off of us, and that's about it.
Yes.
Unless you have the luxury to, then it's okay. By the way, in Hemant Ritu, they say, क्या बोलते हैं सूर्य का ताप लेने के लिए, expose yourself to sun. To some of the sun. So if you can put oil and then be under indirect sun, just like we massage our babies in India, right, and put them in the sun, right?
I have to mention Sanjay ji before I get up here, because
We know he's the most popular teacher, and Mahesh ji and I and all other teachers are accepting that fact.
And my husband has never met him, but really appreciates his presence in our lives, because my cooking has improved so much. Much more healthy cooking. So
One day,
yes.
one day what happened was that some people had come to my house and Sanjay ji had cooked something. So they were patients, they didn't know me. Within the first half hour, they were Indian people, so they know about karma, and most people know about karma. So we being Indian, we offered them, would you have some? They ate it, they said, who's he? I said, my husband. How does he know so well? I said, well, he's a teacher, and they eating, and the husband was very quiet all throughout. But then before leaving, he said, you have done some good karma, madam. That's why you have such a husband. He didn't say anything else except bless me with that. So,
yeah, thank you very much.
thank you. Take care, my dear.
Thanks.
I'm Trisakti. I'm finishing up the third year here.
Yes.
Originally, I came into Ayurveda around 8 years ago now. At the same time, my mother was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and I've been in the health field for 20 some odd years. And so I started doing research, what's going to be the best thing for her. She had been on the meds for about 2 weeks and was having a really bad time with them. She was actually worse. Funny enough, as I was studying Ayurveda and researching Parkinson's, Chinese medicine and Ayurveda were the only ones that had some kind of solution for it. So I introduced her to Ayurveda, and along my travels, my journey through Ayurveda, I also studied with some other groups or people, what I would call modern Ayurveda. And my journey has been one of splendor, and I think the biggest word I could say is reverence for truth. And the classical Ayurveda, when I started here, I had been following the Vata Pitta Kapha diet plan stuff that's being taught out there. And in doing so, it actually ruined my digestion pretty good. And in coming here, there's more of a understanding of balance, and I really learned to experience instead of learning in a linear way, learning through experiential knowledge instead of having tests and exams and everything. It's been pretty mind-blowing because I've been able to pass that on to my mother as well. And whereas what she was experiencing before, she was just doing this checklist of things that I'd given her. Yeah, the experience of she can tell what's going on with her, and every season she knows what to watch out for, when not to travel, so on and so forth. So, yeah, reverence for experiencing the self and our place in the universe at the same time.
That's a beautiful word, reverence. And I'm also touched by a son's journey to find, it touches me, that a son's journey to find, God bless you, my child, some tools for the mother. And with Parkinson, Ayurveda has a potential of really slowing it down, and Maheshji will know better, but perhaps even retarding it completely. And because we understand it as an imbalance, severe imbalance. And how good that the mother must be his student, who is listening to him and benefiting from his education. And that makes our Trishakti a very strong candidate for change in the community down the road. So that is just wonderful.
Hi, I'm Mahi, and some friends know me as Britt. I was just reflecting back on, so Reese, my friend who's over here in the yellow shirt, we went to college together, and we were roommates for a couple years in college, and I was just thinking about how much my life has changed since then, and I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about my journey. When I was at school, I used to party a lot. I used to drink a lot, and I wasn't very happy. I was like kind of happy on a superficial level, and kind of like always searching for the next high or the next like exciting adventure. And it took me, my body actually spoke out to me, and I got super sick. I developed something called ulcerative colitis, which is really debilitating. And anyway, so for a long time I tried to find different modalities and ways of healing, and then I finally came across Ayurveda, and then I was thinking the difference between where I was when I met Reese, we've stayed close, and then I met Brandon just a few months ago, and I was thinking of the different person that I was when I met both of them, and just how grateful I am for the transformation that this school has so graciously gifted me, and that's all.
Well, every time people thank the school, I know this, all the teachers and elders here immediately transfer the thank you to the rishis. Really, without their knowledge and their generous, unpatented, unblocked, unreserved, no drama, no hold back kind of giving, and their wisdom. All we have done is we are just kind of like, and world over people are doing it. The inauthenticity is not working, and superficiality is not working, and we all are suffering. And so really, what is this school? It is just, is the walls the school? Is the teachers the school? If something happens to me, is that not a school? No. It is the movement of certain people, and then who are joined by more people to say, we want the truth and nothing less than the truth. And that we are going to go to the Grantha, we are going to go to those teachers, we are going to go to that space where we have a birthright to be healthy and happy. We don't have to fight it, as Maheshji said, that even in fertility we have to invite it, not fight it, and we can do it in the right way. So therefore, with really great reverence to my personal teachers as well as to my great rishis, which are global rishis actually, and they said samano mantra samati samani samana mansaha chittamesham. So they gave this poem of may our prayers be common, may our hearts be common, may our minds be common, and that is the basis of Sangha. So I hope, the old ones, did you enjoy the interactive session?
Yes.
Yes.
We have a beautiful session coming up. Our Hemaji is just the sweetest soul. I mean, come. Sometimes it is hard to talk about the blessings of Saraswati Ma that we get from Hemaji. And Hemaji is a devoted spiritual seeker as well as a teacher. And she will gift us a beautiful bhajan, and after that we will learn from Sanjay ji and close the session. So many of you may understand what she is saying. She'll give a rough translation. But mostly if you hear with closed eyes, we will reduce the lights. This is our meditative session. And sometimes music will convey to us more than all our words have conveyed, because your soul will connect right away. Hemaji.
Thought I would sing a song by a Maharashtrian poet saint who was considered, who was a great yogi, who was a great jnani, who was a great devotee, and I was going to say, my own guru, Swami Muktananda, was a great lover of Ayurveda. When I lived in his ashram, I didn't understand technically how cleverly he had woven Ayurveda into the daily lifestyle. So when Narayani spoke about snacking, I realized, oh, the ashram life was set up so nicely that there was no possibility to snack. There was good food at the right time, that we would always get up before sunrise, that we would also learn to sit in a good posture and think well. So many Ayurveda and yoga was woven into life so naturally. So. The poet saint says, today is a golden day. I feel like clouds of nectar. Nectar which is filled with nourishment and also blessings. I feel like clouds of nectar are pouring on me. He said, as I sat with the yogis, as I sat with the rishis, as I sat with the lovers of knowledge, those who embody knowledge, I felt that I was having darshan. I was having a glimpse of the divine, not only in those whom I respect externally, but also within myself and in everyone around me and in the environment around me. Aji Soniyacha dino varshe amrutacha gharno. Aji Soniyacha dino sabhaya bhyantare avagha vyapaka murare. Aji Soniyacha dino Hari pahila re. Hari pahila re, Hari pahila re. Aji soniyacha dino varshe amrita jaghano. आजी सोन्याचा दिन दृढविते मनामुली विराजित वर्णमाली दृढविते मनामुली विराजित वर्णमाली दृढविते मनामुली विराजित वर्णमाली हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला रे आजी सोन्याचा दिन बरवा संत समागमो प्रगटला आत्मराम बरवा संत समागमो प्रगटला आत्मराम बरवा संत समागमो प्रगटला आत्मराम हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला रे आजी सोन्याचा दिन वर्षे अमृताचं घर आजी सोन्याचा दिन कृपा सिंधु करुणाकर बाप रखुमा देवी वर कृपा सिंधु करुणाकर बाप रखुमा देवी वर कृपा सिंधु करुणाकर बाप रखुमा देवी वर हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला रे हरि पाहिला रे आजी सोन्याचा दिन वर्षे अमृताचं घर आजी सोन्याचा दिन भ्यंतरी अवघा व्यापका मुरारी आजी सोन्याचा दिन आजी सोन्याचा दिन
The receiving of this great knowledge changes our vision and makes us see the cloud of nectar that we are surrounded with. No longer will we struggle, no longer will we hurt and be conflicted and pulled in diverse directions, but simply open our hearts and minds to receive this nectar. Together as a Sangha, we thank the great rishis and poets and visionaries who have given us this amazing knowledge. May we teachers and students and householders bow to them and maintain the purity and perfection of this knowledge and pass it on with reverence and care. Jai Ma.